Hi, welcome to another episode of Belgaum podcast. In this episode, we have Raghuraj Rao, a key leader at Akxa Tech. We'll be exploring his invaluable insights that he's gathered from navigating in the tech and corporate world. From mastering leadership in a global organization to staying ahead in an ever-evolving industry, this conversation is packed with actionable insights. If you're an entrepreneur or a professional, this episode is for you, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Dr. Raghuraj Rao, welcome to the podcast. We are thrilled to have you. How are you?
All good, Rishikesh. Thanks for having me on your podcast, and special greetings to all your viewers. Good to be here.
Awesome. So let's start the podcast. We have got a set of questions that we would like to know from you. Your journey is truly inspiring. We went through your entire journey, and yeah, let's start. So we would like to know, how did your journey take you from studying like in the top colleges like NIT, IIT to come to Belgaum and start this innovative startup Akxa Tech? So what was the journey?
Yeah, actually it dates back to 1980s. I am born and brought up from Belgaum. My schooling, everything was at BK Model High School. My father was a hotelier, so we come from a middle class family with two elder brothers. And then after my schooling, I continued with GSS 2 years here, and then went on to do my undergraduate study in chemical engineering in Surathkal. That time it was REC Surathkal. Then at the end of that, I decided to have some more skills added. So I went for my master's at IIT Bombay, and then joined a company called L&T. That is where the first seeds of Akxa Tech, I think, were sown.
Okay.
And I believe my experience there was as a commissioning engineer in the field. We used to set up cement plants, and I was a junior engineer there helping the senior team for commissioning, starting up the plant, troubleshoot initial challenges, etc. I think that sparked in me the domain where Akxa Tech is into. Then post that, there are a lot of teachers who have influenced me. So I thought of getting into teaching for 5 years. I was a lecturer at KLE Engineering College, chemical department. That department was also very new, 2 years into. So maybe a setting up of department or a startup attitude came through that also. So it was very challenging to set up new labs. Senior management was very helpful. My HOD, Professor Mali, was also very helpful in giving me freedom to put ideas, what I wanted to implement. So it was really challenging to work with limited resources, build resources, work with young minds who are eager to learn things. So my exposure in REC and IIT helped me to set up a startup department, I should say. Then after that, I went for my PhD to Singapore, National University of Singapore, where I completed my PhD. Post that, I did in chemical engineering, but it was specialization more towards data analysis, etc., where I picked up the skills of algorithms and analytics, etc. My specialization in PhD topic was also developing new techniques, algorithms for large-scale data analysis, fault diagnosis, and simulations, etc. So then post that, I was planning to return back since Belgaum was always an attraction and I had a lot of friends, etc. Luckily, my REC classmate's father was running a business here along with in Belgaum, Aqua Alloys. And Amritraj had also joined his family and his colleagues. So basically, it is a first entrepreneur company. And they are also technocrats coming from big universities. So it was really an attraction in a way and an opportunity in Belgaum to be associated with people like that and initiate something. There was always a plan to start something new, but I joined back here in Belgaum. Though metro was an option, but I did not prefer much with my family. We returned back here in 2010 to join Aqua Live initially as a production head. Then in 4-5 years, we zeroed in on few of the areas which was required by the industries. The same clients of Aqualize, basically, they were looking for such services where they were keen to implement performance enhancements techniques. They were not aware of what to do with data available in the plants, etc., etc. So that was a time where we launched Akxa Tech as a startup in 2016.
Awesome.
This is the build up to Akxa Tech. So I think the background and the different experiences I got at different stages helped me to at least jump into this, and the support of a big company like Aqualize, which is already 30 years plus company. So it's a bootstrap company which helped us to take risk and start something new, and that backup was available to us to focus on technical things rather than the funding part of it, etc. This is where it stands now.
Awesome, inspiring. So coming to the next question, what's one lesson from your international experience that really shaped how you approach work and leadership today as the CEO of Akxa Tech?
Yeah, I think I would say international experience definitely, yes. It has put in a lot of tools in my baggage, I would say. But I think before that itself, my experience at KL Engineering College has really put and given me dividends, I would say. The students who were there at that time, it was in 2000 to 2004, they went out after that, worked in different companies, different international projects they handled. And when we started Akxa Tech, they were looking to come back and settle in Belgaum and looking for opportunities, which is a hardcore chemical engineering company in a place like Belgaum. Still give them opportunity to use their experiences. I think the initial team members of 10 whom we had in the initial 2 years, almost 80% of them were from my own student fraternity.
Oh, is it?
So that dividend paid back. I think the fixed deposits, whatever was there that time, really helped me to get good guys without having to put more effort on getting good skills in Belgaum, especially in that specific area. International experience, definitely yes. My PhD experience helped me to get the best out of data analysis into process industries. That has really helped. My PhD experience itself has given me confidence that industry requires this kind of technologies. I could realize the gap between academics and industry because I was fortunate enough to work in industry like L&T. Then after my postdoc, I worked with an international organization called Delphi Hydraulics, which worked on real-time problems. And my experience with academics of different layers, KL Engineering College, KREC, and then IIT and an international university. All this put together made me feel that the best of academics can be brought to industry also. And since I was a commissioning engineer, that experience helped me to know the real problems of industry and then take the solutions to them when it was required.
Okay.
Yeah, I think overall these kind of interactions and the network as well as I keep joking, I change my profile every 5 years. So I have jumped my careers. I was a trained chemical engineer, then become a process control engineer, then a commission engineer. Then I specialized into biotech also for some time and worked in an environmental engineering company. I think these different experiences helped me to give good shape to a company like Akxa Tech, which was a multi-domain, multi-tasking company. Yeah.
Awesome. So, coming to Akxa Tech, what made you choose Belgaum as the base for Akxa Tech, and how do you see the city playing a role in the company's growth?
Very good question. I think when we were starting, of course, there was a background. Aqualize was the mother company and it is funded by Aqualize. And therefore, we wanted it to be part of the same structure. So, initial structure was part of Aqualize building itself. So we were hosted there initially in Chinoli across the border. But during Corona, we shifted to Belgaum. We were operating out of Belgaum. But Belgaum has always remained a center point of planning in terms of, other than the cost advantages and weather and other things, facilities. But I would see that we were looking for training young minds who are from local area, who were aspiring for bigger opportunities outside but may not be in a right position, especially during that time and including the corona time, I would say, where opportunities were scarce outside. We could really take them, train them to the level whom we wanted. There were few guys who were really hungry to prove themselves to the world, you can say, maybe, but that really worked out for us, I would say. In Metro we would have stuck to high profile biodatas, whereas here we started off with starters, I would say, fresh graduates, young minds who are really eager to contribute and show. That is one. Second, we also experimented with recruiting girls after 4 or 5 years, and we ensured that the local graduate ladies also get opportunities. And when we tested with them, sending them to the site, which was not part of the original plan, I think the background which the Belgaum kind of setup gives them confidence that with limited resources we can still perform. I think that confidence helped us in building our team, especially the early phases of Akxa Tech, where they were daring enough to go talk to the unit heads of bigger plants, even though they are 1 year, 2 years experience, but they could confidently talk, carry out the work, complete the MOMs and come back single-handedly. I think that is where Belgaum kind of setup has helped us. And for them, loyalty, sincerity also comes in naturally, because in a place like Belgaum there is an opportunity like this.
Right.
So we felt, at least we see now looking ahead, looking back of 8 years of experience, we see that additional josh and hunger to prove themselves is a skill which is essential, I will believe, for a startup company.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome. So, for someone who is unfamiliar with process plants, how would you explain what Akxa Tech exactly does in simple terms?
Yeah. So it is actually knowledge based solution, knowledge at the center of all our solutions, services as product. But you can say you have bought a car, okay, from any model or any make. Once it is given, they give certain specification, it will give you this much mileage, all these things. But once you start using it, you will start seeing, okay, initially the performance may not be up to the mark, but as you start using it, you will achieve the performance. But over the period, again, it deteriorates. But the car is the same, driver may be still the same. There are certain parameters or the way you drive it, or certain external factors which influence the efficiency of the car.
Right.
In terms of mileage, can be the indicator of the efficiency. But there could be a lot of factors influencing this efficiency, including driver's skills as well as external factors. It could be like tire pressure. It could be, how you change the gears, operational and engine oils, how frequently you maintain it, etc.
Right.
Like this in process plants also. Once the plant is set up, process plants means continuous process plants. You can say cement, sugar industry,
right,
uses fertilizer, steel. All these are continuous process plants. So there are certain machinery supplied by the OEMs, and they would have set up certain norms how to run it, right? Plant would run it, but plants are also operated by operators, or again manual intervention is there. So each person operates in his own style. Then there are some external factors like raw material quality, which can influence the productivity as well as the energy efficiency, how much power is used per 1 ton. These are indicators of the performance.
Right.
So over the period, it starts deteriorating. So our job is, our products and services focus on collecting the plant data, operational data, analyzing it through certain techniques using AI/ML algorithms, which are proprietary algorithms of Akxa, and come out with the gaps or the reasons or root causes why the efficiency has gone down.
Okay.
So if I come back to the car example, it will give an alert that, okay, your tire pressure is not sufficient. The number of times you have changed the gear or put the brakes is crossing an average expected value. Like this, we alert them. So first set of work we do is monitoring side. So we take data remotely online and analyze it, and then give them gaps where the factors are coming from which are affecting the performance.
Okay.
Then we have certain solutions, like then you say, okay, you take it to the expert will check everything again, like you send it to a service center.
Right.
Like that, we take the plant control and we help them to optimize in one go. So that is the second task we do, which is actual solution we provide. We are not just consultant who suggest and leave. No, we also give solution. We take control of the plant and then make certain changes in the existing setup, And then without having to add new spare parts in the car, we improve the efficiency of the car. Like that, without having to add any new asset into the plants, we help them to improve the the productivity, quality, consistency, and efficiency, energy consumed per production of 1 ton of product, like that.
Okay.
So this is typically, you can say, performance enhancing products and services. The starting point is data for us.
Okay.
So
and how is it captured? Exactly.
Yeah. Nowadays, in last 4-5 years, lot of emphasis has come on data assessment, IoT. You might have heard about this.
Internet of Things.
Yes. So plus. Just before COVID, the awareness was not there that much. But during COVID, I keep joking, COVID was positive for us because people were ready to expose the data outside, give the data online to us. So actually how it happens is there are a lot of sensors already kept on the equipment.
Okay.
Like in our car, in new cars, you would have seen some digital aspects are there. We even have indicators whether the door is open, door closed, like that. Similarly, plants have their own sensors kept. All that sensor comes to their central server.
Okay.
Or a SCADA or DCS, whatever you can call it, or PLCs. Till recently, all the data would remain there. Okay, they would not share it. So any improvement required, we had to go there, personally download the data there, export it to an Excel, take it outside their secured network, then bring it to your laptop, analyze it and do it. But what COVID changed was they were open to give direct access through net. That data, or they would just put it in a folder which was accessible to us on internet. They would send the data to us, or we would fetch the data. Our software would fetch the data from those folders, and then we start analyzing it.
So pre-COVID, they used to hesitate to put it on.
They used to even hesitate to send the data over email. Not hesitate in the sense, it used to be like our proprietary data. Why should we share? You come here and do the assessment, which was a norm. Anyway, any consultant would always go there. But post-COVID, they were open to doing things online. Maybe our products and technologies were ready at the right time. When COVID happened, people were okay to give access online, and our tools were ready to give solutions. So COVID really was a turnaround for us in many ways.
Awesome. So how did you get into international market?
Yeah, there are 2-3.
I guess was it post-COVID?
No. Yes, initially we were going. In fact, we had certain customers in Africa before in 2018 itself. The first thing which has helped is our promoter company Akxa, which is already into 13-15 countries. And Akxa had a subsidiary company or a marketing location in Dubai. So that company also took promotion of Akxa Tech products. Our colleague Mr. Amit Agarwal, who developed, is also from Belgaum, who helped us to reach out to clients through that office. The initial links were through Akxa's initial existing customers, but over the period we could use the case studies we did in India and project it as a new thing, which is an advanced thing. So we can say we got certification through the work we did here in India with smaller companies, and then showcase it there. So our first international assignment came through one of the references. Then we were associated with CII. They also helped us to reach. We did one project in South Korea, just one-off project through their reference. And these two international case studies helped us to project ourselves bigger to bigger companies. And during COVID, yes, it worked out much better. We were in touch with a company called Titan Cement. And during COVID, we had done previously, before COVID, few examples. No. Titan Cement. This is a Greek company.
Okay.
But they have plants across 10 to 15 countries. In Europe as well as US and in Africa. But initially we had done 2 case studies with them. They were really happy with our services. That was also done remotely without going to the plant. So COVID, they realized that this solution is useful. So really opened. They had 16 plants. That was a full measure international break. And till today, they contribute 30-40% of the business because they have raised new projects. We are working with them for multiple technologies implementation. So it has been a good exercise and good association with Titan Cement. All our international work, presently we are into more than 13 countries also. Our Dubai office takes it up. And of late we have been associating with channel partners. We have been in South America through a channel partner, in Southeast Asia through another channel partner, who they carry out the local marketing then the execution is done through us. So you can
great.
say marketing channel partners we have associated with. That's another way we have been associated with.
Awesome. Even in Gulf, I guess.
Gulf, we have this office, our own office.
Your
So
office.
our own colleague completes the marketing.
Amit Agarwal.
Amit Agarwal.
I met him here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he has been a strong backbone for us in terms of marketing. Yes,
Great.
and he's very hands-on with LinkedIn, social media presence, etc., etc. And it also works out good for us that somebody dedicatedly working on the developmental side. Yeah, he completely takes on the international market development. We have internal team also. We have other colleagues, senior colleagues. We recently recruited our own college friend Alok, who is from Infosys. So you can start saying we also have people who have worked with Infosys. He joined us also as a development. We were very focused on a sector like cement due to our association with Akolis, which predominantly works in cement sector. But of late, in 4 or 5 years, we have also started division called Special Process Division, which was earlier supported by our own internal colleague Abhijit and others in the team. But of late, for marketing, we have added another big resource like Alok, who is doing business development for us internationally for non-cement sectors.
Okay, like sugar industries.
Sugar, glass, pharmaceutical, steel. Recently, we have added the steel sector also into that, providing interesting solutions to steel sector as well. Yeah. Then we had our own colleague from Suratkal, Nagesh, who was a domestic business development head. He is also taking care of local new markets and other things like that.
Okay.
And a team presently comprising of 53 people, out of which majority of them are chemical engineers recruited from local colleges like KLE, SDM Dharwad, up to Davangere also recently we recruited. It has been a wonderful experience. I think for 2 years we were highest recruiters from KLE Engineering College.
Oh, is it?
So that makes us feel really good. And the experience has been tremendous and very positive. The local talent is no less than what we would have got outside, I think. Absolutely no regrets.
Awesome. Coming to the next question. What opportunities do you see for local startups in Belgaum to create innovative solutions like Akxa Tech?
Many. Of course, nowadays it's a startup culture, so everything new or old things put in a new way is also startup. But there are so many things to do. It all depends what you want to call it as. I would restrict myself to tech startups. Opportunities are definitely there. I would, in my experience gathering with my own colleagues and how we saw the industry. If you come to B2B space, because there could be a lot of technologies coming to B2C space also, or C2C space, but in B2B space, there are a lot of pain points customers are facing. Pain points in the sense in terms of production, quality inconsistency, equipment reliability. Because the market competition is so high and everything has become internationally global competitiveness has brought them, the challenge of looking inwards, focus on cost cutting rather than price rise, because price is decided by market. So what they can improvise is their cost, right? So they reduces their cost. And in all that aspect, people are looking for any solution which is tech driven. Need not be only software or data, even specialty hardwares also, but solution which can improve the productivity, give them visibility also. Some things, if they don't see it on a device, etc., they will not be able to judge also or take action. Solutions maybe are there, or they are aware of those solutions. They have expertise to solve it, provided somebody shows them where is the root cause quickly, etc., etc. So any tech solution which can help them to improve productivity, improve safety, improve equipment reliability, because any downtime is also affecting their cost ultimately.
Right.
So if you can help them to predict the equipment downtime, if it's going to fail, you can generate an alarm before it actually fails, so that they can take some corrective action, etc. So equipment reliability, one domain, energy efficiency is another domain, and overall monitoring of their business. People are also opening up for smart device monitoring. There are also cases where Plants are monitored very remotely, sitting in a head office, not just through CCTV, just by combining data, presenting the dashboards in a particular way. So these kind of technologies where higher visibility is given, I think there are ample opportunities. That is from industry point of view, I would say. And industries are looking for startup technologies only, especially because with big OEMs, maybe their the terms conditions are not conducive enough for them to experiment few things, because all these are new only. Let's say somebody comes and says, I will give you an application which can detect fault or defect in a particular product, but it's an experiment, right? Nobody has a reference for that from past, right? All these are new techs. So people would be afraid as of now to initially put money, and then so they will say, okay, with startup they have that flexibility to ask him to do a small POC. Maybe for startup it is also advantageous to take that route, prove yourself, and once it is done, that has been Akxa's story. All our initial orders were free of cost or 100% linked to performance, if not cost, free of cost. It is free trial.
Okay.
But if you get the results, you will get 100% payment.
Oh, great.
So performance driven. So if we are not delivering or not coming up to the mark or whatever we committed, we could not achieve, there was no payment. So that was initial challenge.
It's like an irresistible offer.
Exactly. For him, it's all win-win. For us also, it is good. If we really prove, then it is an engagement for a long time. Like that,
it becomes a potential case study.
Exactly. Right? Case study for us anyway. With that customer, he sees, okay, these guys are daring enough to take the risk. They believe and they deliver what actually they say. And they are confident enough to say that we will take money only after we deliver. I mean, इतना guarantee, 100% guarantee तो market में कोई product पे नहीं मिलेगा. It's like, okay, आप लेके जाओ, 2 महीना चलाओ, उसके बाद अच्छा लगा तो पैसा दो, नहीं तो product वापस दो. It's almost like that, right? So, and I think for startups, it's also good if you are really confident of technologies, what you are doing. You take such challenges, and that once that is successful, that gives you customer for long, then you don't have to market. So we have such customers like Ultratech. It's the biggest group we have in India. They have more than 40 plants.
Oh, is it?
Ultratech Cement.
Right.
And this is how we built also. Initially we did free trials or 100% linked to performance, and after that they got confidence. More projects are coming to us, and they also involve us in development projects also. So we don't have to do marketing per se with that kind of group or interactions. So for all startups, I would say have a core technology at the center, especially in tech startup. Try to make yourself, something, or get into something which has a differentiating factor, not that it's easy to replicate by somebody, etc., etc. And be daring enough, flexible enough to do a initial POC free of cost, which will help you.
What is POC?
Proof of concept. So you have to just prove it yourself first as a concept. Maybe they will give a part of the problem to you to solve it using your technology, etc., etc. Before they give a big order to you, they want to just see it first.
Right.
So I think every startup has that ability to do that. And I would like to say to those who are looking to get into industry-driven applications or technologies, it's really important for you to talk to customer, find their pain point, and see whether your solution can, fit in there. And if it can, take a risk to do a kind of POC, take confident guarantees, and then that will surely take you a long way. And relations once built, companies are willing to spend time with startups. I know big corporates now have a separate fund for promoting not just investment and seed funding side. I am saying they have their annual budgets like digitization budget or new tech implementation budget, okay, or innovation fund. Not to invest in tech companies, but to give them chance in their companies or plants to experiment. So they are they are indirectly saying, okay, let's invest. If we get out of 100, if we get 10 successful stories also, that is anyway going to be beneficial for us.
True.
And for them, the benefit is, since they are early phase companies, they are ready to implement at low cost also. Even the technology, if they buy tomorrow from bigger companies, it may be costly. But if the startups come there and if they give them chance to experiment, then any subsequent order they will be getting at a very cost effective.
They can get the first movers.
Exactly. I think these are the thought process which is coming in big corporates, and big budgets are allocated for this. So you should approach such companies take initial hit maybe, but in long run it will really turn out, I believe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Might be like interesting, no, to work.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. One satisfying thing was during Corona. I remember Titan Cement, which I mentioned. They were, doubtful. How will you do it online? All this. They were also new to that. We said, sir, we will do it. Then we got a room in Belgaum because it was Corona time. Across state movement was stopped. So K-Tech in Hanuman Nagar. It was a Government of Karnataka initiative. So we took a small room there, 10 feet by 10 feet, and 5 of us were sitting with internet connection. And in that small room, taking local guys, local engineers, we could support 5 of their plants remotely from here for 6 months, which was a fantastic experience, and that gave us confidence that we can do things remotely. That gave us confidence with the customers that these guys need not come here, they still will deliver. I think these are all few key milestones we crossed. And many stories, not only just me, my own team, after the few years of training, they got confident, they have solved a lot of problems.
Awesome.
Yeah. Another interesting thing I would like to share here is how you also asked about Belgaum ecosystem,
right,
etc. And these stories which I am telling. So once with 4 or 5 customers, we have done initial projects like this, which gave them confidence that these guys are doers. They will deliver whatever you say.
Right.
So apart from our core technology of performance improvement products and solutions, those companies started giving us more challenges. अरे भाई मेरा और एक प्रॉब्लम है, इसको भी आप कर सकते हो क्या, मैं किधर जाके ढूंढूं, आप ढूंढो किसी को तो. Maybe it was not our core competency.
Okay.
So they asked us to develop small apps. They asked us to develop certain workflow automation softwares. They asked us to develop certain special hardwares. So for all that,
going into hardware.
Yes, they asked us, अरे मेरे को एक ऐसा sensor चाहिए. There is an example. They asked us to develop, thermal expansion sensor, which was not there. So they used to go manually measure it. Every shift they used to go 3-dimension axis. They have to put vernier and all. So they asked us, can you do something where automatically the data should come to me? So we tied up with the technology providers locally. My school friend had a company called Ultras in Bangalore. We tied up with them. He developed a software for that. Then for apps and softwares locally, there was one new startup which started Erisys. So we tied up with them. They helped us to develop the apps. So like that, lot of business we could get through that relationship we had with the customer. And local ecosystem really helped us to, get things done and deliver again. And our further branding happened because, these guys, you give whatever, they will solve.
Like 360-degree solutions.
Exactly. So now we have gone extreme level. They are asking us to implement third-party softwares also, but you take the implementation because you understand our systems, etc. Our own products also are part of the solutions, but along with that, we have tied up with 3 or 4 companies here, local talent, through which we are able to grow our business also internationally. So I think these kind of experiences have helped us, to get confidence that even being in Belgaum, you still can deliver, because maybe we are in that area which is like remotely possible to access, etc., etc. But I think the basic ingredients of the confidence you can get in a technology-based domain, and you need not have to be in metros only to provide such solutions, etc., etc.
True.
Nowadays, infrastructure has also grown up in Belgaum. There are a lot of new schemes coming from government and other associations like Belgavi who bring different technology groups together. I think a lot of interesting things can be done. It's only we have to find the problem statement and try to develop a solution together with that.
True.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, coming to the vision and local growth part. So you have built like a cutting edge company in a growing city like Belgaum, and how do you think Belgaum can become a hub for innovation and technology?
I think from technological angle, if you ask, we have to bring. I think I would still say a lot of effort has to grow in place like Belgaum or other similar cities. I see. We have to build the fundamental infrastructure where an ecosystem can encourage people to stay back here, not look for only jobs in metros, but still give them small ideas and experiment with them. Few incubation centers like in InVTU and in some colleges they were started already, but I would say we should catch them young in universities from education center or hub-wise. Belgaum is second to none, I believe. And the talent pool available, or I would say resource pool availability is not a challenge. You have to upskill them with the kind of requirement industry expects. I think we have to make them industry ready. That gap which I will see, and that gap may be bigger here in a place like Belgaum because they don't get that kind of exposure when they are in colleges.
True.
That is one. Make them aware in third year or for final year or somewhere. Give them industrial projects. I think this is where it is required. For that, we hopefully we should have infrastructure here where multi-technology facilities are there at one center. Let's say I am developing a solution which requires hardware development, prototyping, software development. If you have people in the same building, maybe you can pull in rather than you yourself recruit that.
True.
In a setup where big IT infrastructure or incubation center, or you can say basically business center only you can call it, or a startup building where small startups are there who can provide small services. Definitely is a requirement of the day, I believe. Resource availability is not a problem. Bringing them to the actual requirement rather than just keeping a ठीक है ड्रीम तो रहता है ये सबका और सबके पास आइडिया भी रहेगा मैं ये करने से अच्छा हो सकता है या स्टार्टअप हो सकता है, बट मेकिंग देम अवेयर दैट just pure idea or fascination or just dreaming about is not going to take you long. Maybe initial beginner's luck will help you to get business, etc. But if you really want to start with startup and then stand up and then really start walking and growing, it's a long journey, of course. So for that, I think they have to be embedded with initial skills required in technology. Not only just that, I think awareness that just technology will not sell. There are other skills and inputs required for you. So you have to upskill them to how to handle basic things like costing, basic things which is generally not exposed in universities or colleges. Right. Tell them how the money works, etc. I mean, where to take the risk, when not to take the risk, these kind of things.
Finance side of things.
Finance is one. How to manage your finances is one part. But how to cost or price your product, how to understand the value. Maybe an earlier portion of Akxa, we were not pricing it as per what we expected because industry was driving us because it was a new technology.
Right.
But now we realize, no, there is a value. Like I mentioned, 80 lakhs per year savings, but we would have charged not even 5% of that, right? So now when we know that much saving is coming, so we are now changing our strategy to price our product. So this, I think, early stage inputs from seniors to young guys, startup. So exposure to finances, exposure to costing, exposure to problem solving. I think the requirement, especially industrial requirement, is moving towards multi-technology. You may not have all the solutions with yourself. Neither can you recruit those experts and then start doing it. So can you network or can you build an ecosystem in a place like Belgaum who will help you to get that multi-solution product? Let's say, for example, we have a company which is expertise into drones.
Right. And
one of our customer is asking for automated inspection of equipments. Okay, there is a task in the industry which every day morning a person goes and checks. अरे इसका ऑयल लेवल सही है क्या नहीं, इसका ग्रीस सही है क्या नहीं, इस पे कवर लगा है क्या नहीं, धूल गिरा है क्या. So all these kind of inspections are there, which is manual, which is a particular route which follows. So now the solution they are asking, can you automate this? Can a robot walk and do it? Okay, robot बहुत costly हो गया. Can a drone go in an open domain with a fixed path, navigate itself every day, capture camera? Through camera vision, can you capture the results what he is taking also, whether the dust is there or not? From the panel there, can you get the number converted? So it's a software, correct, like an OCR technology or image recognition technology. So drone technology combined with image processing plus a software development and then communication, which is another hardware requirement, send this data to a central server. So you see there are multiple domains added here.
Right.
So we are trying to see with Rohit whether we can develop some combined solutions like this because we have solutions. So I think in a place like Belgaum, if there are multiple companies who can provide and a central association like Betka who can bring all of them together, I think there is wonderful future. I think the skills and talent is not a problem. Resource also would be not a problem. But if more opportunities are there, they will stay back also, I will say. So because maybe the present challenge is initially they are working with you. After 2-3 years, they get skilled and their CV becomes heavy. So then the market really attracts them. Big companies are looking for ready-made products like this. So maybe the attrition is the solution, is a challenge which companies in Belgaum will face after 2-3 years of people working with them. But for that, you give them more challenges, you show them future.
Right.
They may not pay them well to the certain extent that Belgaum level of cost of living can still be attractive. I think that part of resource availability or skill availability can be taken care. What is required is, can you develop technologies which can go long? Okay, so अभी छोटे कंपनीज तो हो जाएंगे स्टार्टिंग में, बट 10 साल चलने वाला कंपनी कितने हैं, 20 साल चलने वाला कंपनी, और वो प्रॉफिटेबल भी होना है, so just चला के फायदा नहीं है. So I think those kind of exposure we will have to give it to these startups, especially coming out of colleges and other things like that.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs in Belgaum who want to solve like big problems with technology?
Okay, if I will assume they are first timers.
Yes.
Okay, obviously, if they are supported by big companies, other things, etc. For the first and the foremost advice I would say is, don't try to do everything on your own. There are expertise available for helping you out. Take those expert help, whether part of your business or as consultant, etc., etc. Because there are a lot of challenges which are, especially if it is industry driven, a lot of challenges you will face because there are restrictions of even allowing you to go and become a vendor. There is a minimum requirement, etc. So if you know those things in advance, that's better. So it's better to learn from others' experience. As part of making it the success ingredient, I would say have group of people, like-minded people or friends into your team who will help you, not just as an advisor. At least if in an execution team, fantastic, because time is very valuable in today's time, in terms of how quickly you can go to market, prove yourself, come to the level where you are a company rather than just to be referred as a startup per se. But for that, I think you have 2-3 guys who focus on marketing, technology, backend support, all that. This is really helps. That means the team, whether you hire good people or you bring on board good people, that is one. Personally, I always seen how people pursue startups. Don't start with ending as the goal. I think they start planning for exit strategy first before they start the company.
True.
मेरे को पैसा किधर से फर्स्ट आने वाला है, इसका वैल्यूएशन बढ़ाने के लिए मेरे को क्या करना है, ये वीसी का फंडिंग लाने के लिए मेरे को क्या करना है, मैं कब इसको 10 गुना बनाऊंगा, even though without profit, etc. I think, I don't know this is right or wrong, but I feel if that is the center of entire startup thought process, then you will always try to take shortcuts. You will always try to look towards early gains which may not be sustainable. You may gain also, but in long term, I don't think you are looking towards setting up a business per se, rather than you have played a startup game, I would say.
True.
So don't go for that startup game. If you really believe there is a value in what you are doing, try to test it quickly, come to a conclusion there is a value or not. If not, then just move out. Okay, go and join someone or join your technology with someone where it becomes very valuable or something like that. That means don't start planning the exit at the beginning. Start growing this sustainably for a long time. I think there are a lot of suggestions available for funding all those things, but from that front, I would like to say there are people who are ready to invest. You have to convince them. You have to show that you are dedicated, you are into it fully. Of course, your skin is there, but not just that, but you are passionate enough to take that idea. So funding, I don't think, at least the early funding is a challenge nowadays. There are a lot of opportunities. What is missing is the delivery side of it. How much you into it you are, and how you build the team to make it a quick success rather than just spending on these things.
Another important thing I would say is there are two options for you. I keep calling this as the 3 dimensions of startups. I mean, the depth, how deep you want to go tech wise. You want to make the product so powerful, so accurate, so quality conscious. All, yes, it is essential to certain extent, but on that front, if it takes long time, it brings lot of cost aspect to that, and you will really lose the early technology provider opportunity. So you have to decide how deep you want, where you have to stop and say, "Nahi bhai, let me try this product first," etc. Another is width of the business. How quickly you can go to multiple customers for the same. Try to ensure that you don't stick to only one, immediately diversify. So expand yourself, bring the width to that, and of course height. As you grow, how your business grows, you have to be careful about top line, bottom line. You want positive bottom line, how quickly, have some milestones in front of you. Of course, initially you may not get that, but you should have a timeline where you want to become positive in your business. And if it is positive, what should be the growth rate, all those aspects. So that's the height of the business. So I think they have to be very careful. There is nothing a golden rule that this is where you have to stop. It's your judgment. But I think you have to be very, very careful about these 3 dimensions. Especially the depth, people get caught into that trap of they want to make that product very, very perfect. I would say industry is not expecting a perfect product for the time being, especially new tech. Come, implement, there are problems you are going to get that feedback quickly. Then again go back to your drawing board or whatever, further input, that's okay. But you don't imagine what customers will be happy with. No, customers will be happy with even small things, or customer may not be happy with so many things in your product.
Very true.
So you will have to judge that very quickly. So I would say keep hitting the stone, get the feedback. That's very, very important. So keep rolling your product, go to market, test it.
Fail and iterate.
I think that's a better way rather than going deep and making your own product much more sophisticated as per your thinking. Because you are passionate about your product and you want it to be good, too good. But if it's a business model, then it has to be approved by the end user, right? Whether it's useful to him or her. So I would say that's a very essential portion than just managing funds or something like that.
True.
So don't focus on exit strategy, focus on growth strategy. Look out for inputs from experts. Don't feel odd or shy to ask even silly things. There are people to help you out, genuine people. Get a good team, whether friend circle or someone who can stay with you for a long time in ups and downs in different formats, whether part of your business or outside or for salary. And then quickly decide about this, where you want to stop and test your product and then come to conclusions. So iterate your product in the market as quickly as possible. So I think these would be my suggestions for the end, guys.
Great. Really insightful. Okay, so coming to the last question. What's one thing which you would like our listeners to remember about Akxa Tech or your journey?
No, more than my journey, I think Akxa Tech also had that journey. 2 aspects. If you solve customer's pain point, customer will solve your pain points. This is a very big lesson we have learned in Akxa Tech. I would say people have to take it from them. Understand, so don't go as I have this product, you want this product or not. Don't go and talk to him. Of course, in a startup, you have flexibility to modify yourself to a certain extent. Your own product, how you can pitch it so that it appeals to him in terms of solving his problem, okay? Or if you can adjust yourselves to solve his problem also, is an approach in a startup. So you have to flexible enough to get into problem solving and ultimately give a solution.
Right.
So, but for giving a good solution, understand the actual pain points, and if you can solve it, it will really be helpful. It will forge long-term customers. Then you don't have to worry about marketing in some aspect. So I would say that's one major thing we have learned. Solve customers' problems, customer will solve your problems. Okay, we have luckily, touch wood, we have not faced recovery problems or payment problems. Neither we have done work in so many cases without purchase orders, with the confidence that we were lucky to have corporate mentors also in terms of Ultratech, and the guys who were there at top decision makers. They were really good mentors, knowing that we were a startup company. They were very kid glowing us in terms of how to support them in terms of payment. So I think these are all coming from the initial time we spent in solving their pain points, on solving their problems. So that is first aspect I would I would like people to take away from Aksa's story. Second is believe in your team. Even though they may not have good skills, they may not come from big backgrounds, they may not come from big colleges, but if you excite them with challenges, today's young minds are ready to take challenges. There are fantastic teammates in my company who have gone much beyond. We have a policy in Aksa, don't see your salary, don't see your watch after coming inside, and I am very proud to say my team has stood to that. Whatever negotiations have to happen before coming into the company, those negotiations happen, but once they are inside, they have never seen, they have worked late nights, they have worked with international customers with different time zones, they have even forgiven birthdays, other events at home, and then stayed at the site and to deliver. I'm really lucky to have. So my another takeaway important is invest in your people, grow them, give them that the platform where they can shine, and surely those the local stones will surely come out as a gem, come out as gems for you, and they become real your assets of the company. So Aksha's story is all about people, all about problem solving, all about customer delight. These are the three things I will say.
Awesome.
Other things get aligned along with that. Yeah.
Great. It was an awesome podcast.
Yes, great.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot. Thank you Rishikesh, and thanks for having me here and taking me back in my thought process, as well as giving few inputs to the upcoming. And I'm sure interactions like this and opinions like this, plus opportunities in Belgaum can create more startups, and we will see Belgaum rising as another hub.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Best
Thank you.
wishes to you and all to your viewers. Yeah.
Great.